All praises due to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the sincere Akim, preaching the word, teaching the people the truth of the Bible on the highways, the byways, the hedges, the streets, across the world, and Babylon the Great. This is a time life cover from, I believe, the 60s, where they featured Egypt's then president, Egypt's premier, Nasser. His name was Gamal Nasser, right? So in this article in Time Life magazine, he actually revealed that they know the truth concerning the actual ethnic identity of the original Jews. So when he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated, "The Jews would never be able to live here in peace." And that part, he was actually referring to the fake Jewish so-called people of European descent, those of German and Russian descent, which migrated to Israel in 1948. And before that, you also had Europeans claiming to be Jews, settling in the land of Israel. So reading again, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated, "The Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but came back white." So they actually know that because through archaeology and history, the Ishmaelites, the people, certain Ishmaelites and people in Egypt, the government, they know the history. The original Jews were black. They were in bondage, black in ancient Egypt, and there's a long history of Israelites at certain times settling in the land of Egypt. We had Yahweh Shai, which is so-called Jesus Christ. Mary and Joseph actually fled into Egypt from Roman persecution because there was communities of Israelites, Jews, black Jews living in Egypt during that time and throughout its history. So the president of Egypt in the 60s definitely knew that this is the fact. These are the cold facts that the real Jews are black. The late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, stated, "The Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left here black but come back white." So this is part of this article, Time Life magazine. I believe this is from the 60s or the 50s of an article, interview. The information that was coming out of Egypt concerning this president reveals the truth that the president of Egypt and many of the Arabian countries and European countries and even the United States of America, amongst the presidents, politicians, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, they all know that the real Jews are the blacks in America. The so-called Hispanics and the Native Americans of black or indigenous paternal descent, those all descend of the Israelites. The Israelites that were brought from west coast of Africa in slavery, and the indigenous people that were here before the conquest of the Europeans, those were the 10 tribes, the 10 so-called lost tribes of Israel. So this information is found throughout Esau's media, throughout so-called European white media across the earth. It just has to be dug up, researched, and the truth will be revealed. The war for Israel. Israel is the land they're speaking of, but Israel is a people before it is a land. So the Lord's people, as it says in Hosea 1:10, that the Lord's people will not know that they are the Lord's people until the prophets come and reveal that to them. In the place where it was said unto them, "Thou art not the Lord's people," there should be said, "Thou art the sons of the living God." That's in Hosea, the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. So our people have to wake up to realize we are the Lord's people, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, And many Ishmaelites know, like this one, Egypt's premier Nasser, Gamal Abdel Nasser, the president of Egypt in the 50s, knew that the blacks in America were the real Jews. And this is a truth that is hidden from the world. And this is why the so-called Jews were allowed to settle the land of Israel to establish a false vision that the so-called Jews were white and they were persecuted in Europe and were returning back to their homeland. And this was done through World War II with Hitler, but that was all set up by the Rothschilds, the Rothschild family. We had to research the Balfour Declaration, the Balfour Declaration, and the British Mandate. These all allowed the so-called fake Jews of Europe, the converts whose forefathers had converted to Judaism. Okay, you can't convert to a nationality. So one can read the book of The 13th Tribe by Arthur Koestler. The 13th Tribe by Arthur Koestler is the name of the author. And the truth is out there for those who want to look for it. There's many scriptures in the Bible proving that real Jews are black, people of color, melanated people, okay? And there's much news articles and historical events and historical quotes such as this one, which shows and proves that many of the leaders of the world know that the real Jews are black, and Jesus Christ is black, and the Bible was a black man's book, going back to the ancient Hebrews, the Israelites, that this was never a so-called white man's book or European book, but a book coming out of the land of the Middle East where the original people were all dark-skinned. So this is the truth. This is what's coming out in the last days, and we must study to show ourselves approved, and to able to spread this truth throughout the streets of America, Babylon the Great, and throughout the internet, for our people could wake up, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So I'm going to say shalom.